49ers QB Brock Purdy. Nick Bosa out for Week 12 game versus Packers. The San Francisco 49ers will be without two of their key players in Week 12 as quarterback Brock Purdy and defensive end Nick Bosa have both been officially ruled out for their matchup against the Green Bay Packers. Brock Purdy's injury. Purdy, who had been dealing with right shoulder soreness throughout the week, participated in limited practices but ultimately did not practice on Friday, which raised concerns about his availability. Head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed that Purdy would not play in Sunday's game against the Packers, marking a significant blow for the 49ers offense. Backup quarterback Brandon Allen will take over the starting role for this game. Allen, who is in his second season with the 49ers, has yet to see any action this year, serving behind Purdy and Sam Darnold. Purdy's injury first appeared during the 49ers' Week 11 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Following a hit, Purdy was unable to throw the ball more than 10 yards and struggled to perform at his usual level. Despite finishing the game, his discomfort was noticeable. An MRI on Friday revealed the full extent of the injury, which led to Purdy being officially ruled out for Week 12. This marks a significant setback for the 49ers, as Purdy had been playing well prior to the injury. Nick Bosa's injury. Defensive end Nick Bosa, one of the 49ers' defensive stars, will also miss the game due to hip and oblique injuries. Bosa sustained the injuries during a practice on November 6, but he continued to play through them. He managed to finish the Week 10 game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers despite the discomfort. However, Bosa aggravated the injuries during the Week 11 matchup against the Seahawks, leaving the game in the third quarter and not returning. Post-game, Bosa explained that the oblique injury was a result of compensating for the hip issue. With Bosa out, the 49ers will need other players to step up on defense in his absence. His pass rushing ability has been a key part of the 49ers' defensive success, and missing him will be a significant challenge against Green Bay's offense. Trent Williams' injury. In addition to Purdy and Bosa, left tackle Trent Williams is listed as questionable with an ankle injury. Williams suffered the injury in Week 10 but played through it, even receiving a pain-killing injection before playing against Seattle. However, he did not participate in any practices this week, and his status for the game will be a game-time decision. Williams' presence on the offensive line is crucial for protecting the quarterback, and his absence could have a notable impact on the 49ers' ability to move the ball effectively. Looking ahead, with these key players sidelined, the 49ers will need to make quick adjustments. Allen, who has previous experience with the Denver Broncos and Cincinnati Bengals, will start in place of Purdy. However, this leaves the 49ers with a challenging situation, as they'll need to rely on a relatively inexperienced quarterback for this critical game. As for Bosa, the defense will have to adapt to his absence, possibly relying on other pass rushers to step up in his place. The 49ers are facing a Packers team that has had its own struggles this season. But with Purdy and Bosa out, the matchup becomes even more unpredictable for San Francisco. Conclusion. Week 12 brings added uncertainty for the 49ers, who will need to find ways to overcome the loss of their starting quarterback and defensive star. The game against Green Bay will be a true test for the team's depth and ability to adjust on the fly. With backup players stepping in, the 49ers will look to stay competitive despite the challenges ahead.
Brock Purdy is dealing with some right shoulder soreness, but the 49ers aren't too concerned about his availability for Sunday's game against the Packers. Head coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters that Purdy will be a limited participant in the team's first practice of the week, but he fully expects the quarterback to be ready for Week 12. Purdy has been playing well this season, and despite a less-than-ideal performance in last week's loss to the Seahawks, where he completed 21 of 28 passes for 159 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception, the 49ers are confident that he'll be good to go for the Packers game. However, other key players are dealing with injuries and will not practice on Wednesday. Running back Christian McCaffrey is getting a rest day due to an Achilles issue. Defensive end Nick Bosa is nursing an oblique and hip injury, and left tackle Trent Williams is resting his ankle. Linebacker Tatum Bethune, knee, and defensive tackle Kevin Givens, groin, are also sidelined for practice. On the limited practice list, tight end George Kittle, hamstring, wide receiver Jacob Cowing, concussion, and cornerback Charvarius Ward, personal, will take part in some drills but won't be full participants. Despite these absences, Shanahan remains optimistic about his team's chances against the Packers, especially with Purdy expected to be ready for action come Sunday. The 49ers are hoping to bounce back from their loss to Seattle with a strong performance at home. 49ers missing Kittle and Bosa at Wednesday's practice. But Shanahan's not panicking yet. 49ers fans. The injury bug is still hanging around the team, with tight end George Kittle, hamstring, and edge rusher Nick Bosa, hip, both missing from Wednesday's practice. But don't go into panic mode just yet. Head coach Kyle Shanahan isn't exactly hitting the panic button over these absences. Kittle's just irritated, but I expect him to be out there tomorrow, Shanahan said, sounding pretty optimistic. Bosa got through it last week, so I'm not too worried. Shanahan is playing it cool. But hey, we all know how fast things can change in the NFL. One day it's just irritation, and the next, it's a week-to-week situation. But wait, there's more. Left tackle Trent Williams, ankle, wrist, and defensive tackle Kevin Givens, groin, are also sidelined. And punter Mitch Wishnowsky, back, is out as well. In case the punter situation goes south, the 49ers have brought in Pat O'Donnell for backup. Shanahan did admit that he's a little more concerned about Wishnowsky's back, especially since it flared up again after lingering issues from training camp. Guess we'll have to hope the punter situation doesn't go from bad to worse. Meanwhile, cornerback Charvarius Ward is still away from the team due to a personal tragedy, the death of his 1-year-old daughter, and the team continues to support him during this incredibly difficult time. On a lighter note, running back Christian McCaffrey, Achilles, wide receiver Chris Conley, hamstring, and offensive guard John Feliciano, knee, are all limited but still practicing in some capacity. Shanahan's keeping McCaffrey's Achilles issue under wraps as part of his long-term recovery plan. So, while the injury list is long, Shanahan's still keeping his cool. Let's hope the 49ers can get their key players back on the field sooner rather than later. Brock Purdy's status for the 49ers' upcoming game against the Green Bay Packers just got a little more unclear after the quarterback unexpectedly left Thursday's practice with a shoulder injury. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan offered some clarification, explaining that Purdy, who had been limited in practice earlier in the week, did a bit more work on Thursday but still wasn't fully engaged in his usual workload. Shanahan confirmed that Purdy went out for some reps before stepping back inside to rest his arm, continuing his rehabilitation in hopes of being ready for Sunday's crucial game at Lambeau Field. While there's still some uncertainty surrounding whether Purdy will be cleared to start, Shanahan emphasized that the quarterback's injury did not seem to impact his performance against the Seattle Seahawks last week. Despite the 49ers' offensive struggles in their 20-17 loss, which saw their lowest yardage total since Week 6 of 2023, Shanahan doesn't believe the shoulder injury played a role in the team's woes. In terms of his throwing, I didn't see anything that looked different, and he didn't complain about it, said Shanahan. With the 49ers sitting at 5-5 and facing critical matchups against the Packers and the Buffalo Bills, San Francisco can ill afford to be without their starting quarterback for an extended period. The pressure is on Purdy to recover in time, and fans are hoping he'll be back to full strength for this important stretch of games.